Good morning, Senator.
I hope you're well.
I am good. How about you?
I am also well. First of all, let's start with the indications you're getting from organized labor. But first, congratulations in order for you.
Congratulations to all Ghanaians. I have said time without number that this is victory for all Ghanaians. It is not a personal victory. If the Ghanaian people did not rise up, particularly organized labor, if they had just sat aloof and didn't listen to me and didn't call for the documents I have intercepted and begun to act on them, we will not be where we are today. And it is the final push that organized labor gave all workers in Ghana. And this is so historic. I don't remember the last time in our history. Perhaps 1948, the 1948 riots, and where shops were closed and all workers and traders decided that enough is enough of the colonial brutalization. I don't recall the last time organized labor in such resounding unanimity said that they were going to take on a government, regardless of any partisan or artificial boundary. They were all uniting, putting the country first to insist that this sale should not be carried through. So it is a victory for all Ghanaians. I saw on social media young people who are hoping to join the workforce very soon also joining this, because they said that it is also about their future. It's not only about current workers or those who are on pension at the moment, but it is also about the future. And you recall that when we did the June 18 demonstration, thousands of Ghanaians, showed up on the streets and demanded that this sale should be aborted. So this is a culmination of so many actors, you in the media, who continue to give this matter oxygen. So all Ghanaians, this is our collective victory. And the lesson here is that when we come together, when we put our country first, we are unstoppable. That real power belongs to the people. Those who are given some temporal positions and they allow the positions to get into their head, and they become so intransigent, so belligerent, so recalcitrant, so stubborn. They won't listen to anybody. They think that they can continue to loot this country, engage in unbridled, greedy state capture. This is a clear message to them that you mess with the Ghanaian people at your own peril, and that the Ghanaian people, as Nkrumah said, they may be slow to anger, but when they rise, when they strike, they are absolutely unstoppable. And that is what has happened today.
Are you convinced by everything you've seen thus far? The Rock City statement saying we've done our bid, SSNIT then saying we are discontinuing the sales of the 60% shares. Are you convinced by all those documents that everything has been put on hold, or you need some more in terms of documentation to be convinced?
As for that Rock City withdrawal, put it aside. It means nothing. He is only running away from the fire. And he knows that he shouldn't have gone anywhere near this transaction, having violated Article 78, Article 98, and Article 284 of the 1992 Constitution. But as I indicated in my immediate response after that Rock City withdrawal, I said that, look, it means nothing. There are other bidders. Remember, Freddie Blair's sons are on the sidelines. They could just have stepped in and said that, look, after all, we put in a higher bid, $200 million. So consider us. So that Rock City matter, just put it aside. It's totally outless. The statement was also quite a discredit selected one, and we rely on it because we only saw name that is right. However, she said put out another statement, this time signed. So you can say that that's one we can discuss. We can begin to look at it. But you see, we have always insisted that this deal is not in the national interest, marks of conflict of interest, has all the characteristics of insider dealing. And indeed, if you read the May 24 transaction advice report, that is not permitted. The Fed only city was allowed to have an installment arrangement and regulation of IPS. Rock City is the only one allowed to say that they'll pay over any fund without interest. Rock City was the only company I think without a guarantee, no proof of funding. I've never read anything more. So that statement is a significant first step. What we are now demanding, if you read the youth tax statement, we are saying that all of these board members, particularly the board chair and the after they received the transaction advisors report, would you believe that they were holding press conferences and things, even claiming that angels will come and approve the deal, even in blasphemy, that share is honesty, that share is. So we are saying the entire SSNIT Board, the NPRA Board, dissolve. Those two boards must be dissolved. Employment Minister who come above and into Parliament saying that they're going ahead, he and the authority, that they're going to hand over those to Acheampong. He and Bryan the minister not right. So if you have observed, arguments have grown bigger because having seen all of these documents, this advice report, and seeing how this was a clandestine move, conspiracy to just hand over our girls to a colleague in government. That's what this is about. And it's like, let us hand over this to the police. We will let everybody else can go help. We won't follow the laws, we won't follow the rules. Look, it doesn't emerge. The Ross did not even have a task certificate. It didn't have a valid contract. There's no proof of funding. I mean, so it was just a way of arrangement. Dash, put a dash, and I think that people who are giving tickets that take care of these assets for us, manage these assets for us, you should be telling us how well you have managed these assets, how you have extended the value, increased the value. That's what you're telling us, not the fact that you are selling it. It's not good for us, it's good for you. They deliberately run down these institutions, letting around to be themselves. If it can be good for Acheampong, it can be good for us. So we're saying that looking at the level of PC, looking at how far these people with their belligerent, the criminal madness, they must all go, and they should go quick. I would advise that Labour meeting later today will insist that these boards of us the strike not be called for them.
I see. And I'm only the NPRA Board, and the same with the minister. What's the NPRA Board done?
So the minister needs to tell us no further questions in forms because the NPRA has now given me the green light. But less than 2 weeks ago, the NPRA had issued a statement asking to suspend the process. And in less than 2 weeks, NPRA is telling us that such a complex deal with so many reviews, so many issues, in less than 2 weeks they are done and giving a green light. It must be the most efficient organization in the world. So it is clear to us that NPRA has learned this conspiracy. But see, there are interesting developments emerging. I received some calls from inside the NPRA that they didn't know what the minister was, and the minister was. See, the NPRA has not distanced themselves from the minister, and they are quiet. And they didn't have control. They have become complicit. That's why I filed another request asking so they tell us even their ages, the ability. They should tell me in response that they don't ask the minister to apply for it, and they did not allow it to finish. If it's not put, we are demanding that they should give a copy of the review report. The review said that review strategy advice report which expose all the infractions, all the issues, all the bias. They say that they have superior analysis. It shows the evidence of the superior, verdict they reached. So the NPRA cannot be left out. And as regulators, they should even have been protecting us. They should have been the first to even detect this grand conspiracy to continue state capture, to hand over these hotels to Acheampong. They failed in that regard, and they must also be sanctioned. And that is why we are demanding that NPRA, because we can't trust the NPRA to protect workers' pensions. Pensions is not a joke. You work for 40 years, 50 years. When you can't work again, your contributions you have made over millions are sacrificed. Children are sacrificed. You know, their salaries barely take them home. But as for the pension administrator, by law, no matter how small your salary is, there's no discretion. You don't say that, oh, as for this month, you are suffering too much, so I won't deduct your pension contribution. If you don't pay, you and your employer can end up in jail for 5 years. People are languishing in jail now, as we speak, for refusing to pay pension contributions. So this is not a joke. So you collect our monies, you are managing trillions of Ghana cedis, and this is your output. This is how you betray the people whose interests you are supposed to be in charge of. So NPRA must go, the SSNIT Board must go, the management must go, Osafumafu's son must go, and the employment minister and the agri minister should be the next. They should all be booted out, and let's have a clean slate, and be rest assured that we will have a new crop of Ghanaians who have workers' interests at heart to manage workers' pensions.
Be that as it may, at the last press conference held by the SSNIT management, they said they've so far invested 200 million Ghana cedis into the hotels. Have gotten no returns. It seems they still insist that there's a problem that needs to be dealt with when it comes to the hotels. How do you propose that is dealt with?
It seems to me that this Bofi Busumpim or Safumafu, I hope I got the name right, it looks like he's at war with the truth. How can you tell us that you haven't received any returns from this hotel? When the financial statements of Deloitte, conducted by Deloitte, financial statements published by Deloitte on Labadi Beach Hotel, revealed that Labadi Beach Hotel alone last year paid dividend of 25 million. The year before paid 10 million. Indeed, if you do the tax analysis, taxes that Labadi Beach Hotel alone has paid, is more than 40 million Ghana cedis. So how can you come and tell us that you are not getting any returns? The dishonesty, the blatant lies. And in any case, if you publicly hold a press conference and tell us that, look, I'm a failure, I can't manage these assets that you have given me. That's virtually what you are telling us, publicly. In other jurisdictions, you resign. As soon as you say that, you tell us that, oh, I have put in so much money, I can't manage, I can't make profit, I can't give you returns. You add that I'm resigning. I clearly can't do the job. So what business do they have remaining there? Osafumafu and his colleagues, what business? You've told us that you can't manage these assets. It's only when they are given to somebody else to manage. That is when we can have hope in these hotels, even though you are lying that you've never received anything from these hotels. So why do you want to keep your position? Just go home. This is not by force. Nobody has put a gun to anybody's head that if you don't manage SSNIT, we will kill you. It's not by force. You are telling us publicly at a press conference that you are incompetent. You are incapable of turning the fortunes of these hotels around. Why do you want to keep your post? Why? Just go home. We will find somebody who this is not, because we've had other SSNIT managers like Mr. Ernest Thompson who turned Labadi around, brought in the right management, and turned their fortunes around. There have been other SSNIT managers. They didn't sell the hotels, and they did a great job. In any case, you see the double standards, the hypocrisy. If we are talking about SSNIT assets that are not yielding results, where to go is not the hotels. It is STC, Nana Komia's STC. According to all the records, SSNIT's own records, that is the worst place in terms of value on returns. Why are they not touching STC? Because that one is not profitable. That one, the trouble it brings, their colleagues in government who suddenly have become hoteliers are not interested. So look, they should just leave. It's not by force. You're telling us you're a failure, you're incompetent, you can't manage these assets. So just go home. It's as simple as that.
I see. So from what you're gathering from organized labor, the strike would most definitely continue until all those people resign?
It is. I mean, barring any last minutes, it's very likely. I really don't see how these guys who have disappointed workers so much will be allowed to stay there, and this strike will be called off. I will be surprised unless they are given an ultimatum. And you see, because of the nature of this strike too, the only thing that may save the government is that today there's a total lockdown. There will be no productivity at all. Even the courts are not working this morning. Nobody is going to work, not even staff at the Jubilee House. The civil servants, the public servants, they are all not clock sack. All of them are not going to work. So perhaps they may give an ultimatum for these board members to resign or be fired, failing which probably the strike will resume. That may be a fallback plan, but from what I'm picking up, the only way the government can save itself now is to, in addition to the termination, fire these guys who engaged in this scandalous conspiracy.
Let me conclude then by asking you about your own self, because Mr. Bryan Acheampong, I recall in the last interview I had between the two of you, still suggested that this is personal, that you are just jealous of his successes in life. That's why you are doing it. He's the main target of all the exposés you started on the hotel. That he has nothing to do with the nation. It's because you don't have his money sum. How do you respond to this?
Bryan Acheampong must feel very important. He must feel like a god. He must think that he is the greatest Ghanaian to ever walk on the surface of this earth. You know, that everything revolves around him, that it is about him. I mean, look at the arrogance. The last time he said that, he virtually suggested I'm homeless. So he would, if I produce some intercepted documents, he will give me a house, an empty house he has at Transaco. I mean, these people just don't get it. And you wonder how such characters will come anywhere near public office. He was not in this country 16 years ago when I went to the Supreme Court, attempting to stop Jacob Echedi Lamte from buying his bungalow. State capture we have been fighting at the prisons, parks and gardens, the military lands, police lands, embassies, the demolition of the Bulgarian embassy, demolition of properties belonging to the Nigerian High Commission, and all of that. He thinks that all of this is about him. Really? Who has time for him? It is the principle, and that is why in the next few days we will start the public consultations on our new private members bill, which will be an express law banning all politicians or politically exposed persons from buying state assets. These efforts should tell Bryan Acheampong that it is not about him. The world doesn't revolve around him. Of course, he shouldn't have gone anywhere near this transaction. He should carry his shame. But we are dealing with a larger principle. And we are saying that public officials should stay away from our state assets. We are saying that we want all state assets to be put in a database to be published so that all of us, all Ghanaians, will know what state assets we have. In your community, which state asset is there in your district? So you can help us to protect it. That's why we are calling it the Protection of State Assets Bill. So he should just get out of the way and let's focus. We have a country to protect. See what is happening at the Du Bois Center. Have you read my latest on the Du Bois Center?
Yes.
They are giving it out for 50 years. Can you believe that? 50 years. And now the latest document I've intercepted from the chief director of the ministry. Once the president is preparing to cut sword and hand over the place to this his preferred special purpose vehicle. And once again, David Ajayi is in there. And as for Ajayi and this president, I can't wait for the day of accountability. Ajayi, who everybody the world over has withdrawn every contract from him. This president is still dealing with him. And the people have brought nothing. If you read the chief director's letter, nothing. No proof of fund, no evidence that they have money in the account under that lopsided agreement they signed. And yet the president is preparing, has confirmed that he's going to participate in the handing over ceremony to them for 50 years. And they are going to control, they will have 6 members on the board, government has only 3, they will control management. I mean, 50 good years. And all they must, the evidence they must show is that they have $13 million. How much is $13 million? The value of the land at cantonments, how much is it? 8 acres of land, how much is it? I mean, so this rip-off, this state capture, it goes beyond just one megalomaniac, one person suffering from delusions of grandeur, that he is so important and everything is about him. We are fighting a bigger war against state capture, and we will not stop. We are going to go all out to make sure that all our state assets are protected, and nobody will stop us. The threats that he issued last Friday, it won't stop us. Even if you take me down, there are many Ghanaians, and as you can see now, this coalition is much bigger than any individual. It's gone way beyond me. You take me out, there are so many Ghanaians who will rise up and preserve our country. Our country is on sale, and that sale must be fought and aborted. That is what this struggle is about.
Be that as it may, he says you use the platform of politics to show you some shege starting today. Are you ready?
I told him to start last Friday. I don't know why he was waiting for Monday.
Honorable, thank you very much for making time to talk to us.
You're most welcome.
Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa is Member of Parliament for North Tongu. There's a lot more that is following up, including, in fact, the things that are happening in cantonments, Acheampong, please. There are so many things happening in that area. When it comes to land in that area, there's so much happening. The prison service has suffered. Then Du Bois is the latest. Ghana International.